Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. And Sam and I, as always, happy to have the Director of Athletics at CHS, Andrea Van Meter. Andrea, a busy week.
Busy, short week, yes.
A busy, short week.
Yeah. 2 days of school for the kids and 3 days off, but 3 busy days off.
On a happier note, let's talk about the Lady Spartans and their record and their win.
Yep, they are playing very well right now. They had a home game last week against Centerville. Pretty easy victory, I guess you'd say, over Centerville. Running clock before. I mean, yeah, we hit that right before the half. So for both JV and for varsity. So that was a good game for them. Traveled to Anderson on Saturday. Outcome didn't quite pan out the way that we wanted it to. But one basket there at the end, hard-fought game. Just an interesting atmosphere to play in. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
And I think it's rough for our kiddos, and they were getting some harassment, I think, from some people in the bleachers. And it was, because all our girls did was show great sportsmanship, trying to help other girls up. So, but the ladies are playing really well. They're off until Saturday after Thanksgiving, and they'll play Batesville.
Right, in an afternoon game.
Yep.
About the Anderson game, 47-45 final.
47-45 was the final. Yep.
Sam, the turning point in that ball game.
Well, I think the turning point, even though we didn't win, the turning point was the third quarter. First half, we did not play well, and Coach will tell you we did not play well. She thought they came out scared. Anderson plays a different style of ball, and I knew what to expect because I'd been there many times, and they'd been to the bowl, and it's kind of helter-skelter, very physical. But you just got to come out and attack that. And I thought that Coach Williams and her staff did a good job at halftime in correcting some things. We came out and shot 67% in the third quarter, and we shot, I think, less than 20% in the first half.
Yes.
And we're down 11. Able to take a lead three-point lead into the fourth quarter, but went cold on shooting again. For what reason, I don't know. Anderson's press was bothering us some, but we were pressing too in that second half, and some quick hands. I mean, we got Serenity Pennington. I don't know how many steals she has on the season, but she has such quickness with her hands and able to deflect balls and get them and take them in and attempt to score. And some of the shots just weren't falling, but always a hard place to play. It's just it's different. I don't know why, but if there's unsportsmanlike stuff, don't like that either. Our girls were above the fray there, so. That's my analysis. Is that
pretty spot on? Yeah.
Kind of a helter-skelter type of play is what it is.
Just I think it's our girls aren't used to playing against an entire team that can jump, and so there's a lot of them jumping before the ball, after the ball, and kind of throwing our girls off a little bit. I think that was the biggest thing. I just don't think we ever got in a rhythm with our shooting.
Sure.
Like Sam said, we hit a couple shots at the end of the first, actually not the first quarter because it was only 3-2 at the end of the first quarter. So it's very low scoring first quarter. But then, the second quarter, we hit a couple, but, number 15 and number 30 for Anderson, they were on fire. Like if you put them anywhere other than the top of the key, it was in. And it wasn't question. They were dead on. I think number 30 only missed maybe 2 of the threes that she threw up. So they had some three-point shooters that I don't know. I think we knew to expect, but I think our girls knew that number 3 was the shooter, and she wasn't the one making wasn't the one making those baskets.
Yes.
It was those other 2 girls. So that kind of put a little damper, I think, in the girls because our three-point shooters, Addie and Serenity, their shots just weren't falling. They were on the way to the basket, and they looked really good. They just would hit right off the back of that basket and fly off.
Before the game, during warm-ups, J.C. Wilhelm, I was sitting talking to her mom and dad, and she came up and said those rims are so tight, and you could hear them. And so home court advantage. The
Sure.
Anderson girls were used to playing on those, and you got to be able to make those adjustments.
Absolutely.
Are there many teams comparable to Anderson on our schedule, as far as you know, Andrea?
Not that I can think of. I think Decatur Central was a very similar team as far as getting up and down the floor fast, having some shooters on the outside. Might see that against Mount Vernon next Friday. There's a chance that you could see that. Trying to think of who else would be similar. I don't know that there is anybody else. Maybe Richmond. They might be similar as far as the quickness and up and down the floor, but they just kind of had us. And I don't even know that they had us out of our game. It was just the shots just weren't falling. I mean, the girls were throwing them up and they were shooting, but they just wouldn't fall.
A lot of reaching and slapping, though, I thought.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of that. Yeah.
They're running the plays, but as you said, they.
Yeah, and there's some. I mean, the girls are running. I mean, you can tell they're actually running plays and following what the coaches are saying. They're making the cuts back door, and they're seeing the players now. They're getting some very easy layups. So I mean, it's working. The out of bounds plays are working. There's girls that are wide open. It's just the outside game struggled a little bit more so. And I think using Haley, I mean, that's kind of how they came back, throwing it into Haley and getting fouled and getting her on the line.
She sure got beat up, though. And
she did.
I saw her at church yesterday. I said, you've got to be bruised. And she said she was.
Yeah, she was on the floor a lot. She got hit a lot. It was physical.
Every team has games like that, but you have to play through it.
Absolutely. And I think the girls did a great job. I mean, it could have been based on how they went in at halftime. They came out of it pretty well to be only down by 2 and had a chance to win. I mean, we had a chance in the layup. Serenity got a chance with, 3 seconds left to shoot it. Missed that one, got the rebound, but then we threw it away. So, right there.
4-2 on the season is pretty good at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think definitely better than they were last year at this point.
Better than for several years.
Lady JBs, how are they doing?
They actually beat Anderson. It was a pretty close game, pretty physical. Anderson actually had 3 juniors on that team. I was very surprised that number 10 wasn't dressing varsity. I don't even think she played varsity.
I don't think so.
But she was a junior.
I think we won by 13, though. Kind of won it going away. But.
Yep, absolutely. So they've been playing well. They beat Centerville as well at home. So it's very positive to see. But I know that JV team, they play hard. They go after balls. They've got some spunky girls that are making steals. And
there's one girl on that team that puts me a lot in the mind of her mother that played. Kenzie, your daughter, playing very well.
She is playing very well. She actually... the Centerville game, we had a little conversation that she didn't play as tough as she should have, and I think part of it was because it was Centerville. But we have little pep talks before games and encourage her to play hard and leave it all out there. So I think every game she gets a little bit better. So,
but she got a pretty good supporting cast around her too.
She does, absolutely. Miley Perry is good for quite a few points each game in the JV and in the varsity game. I mean, Miley came off the bench in the varsity game and was in 5 seconds and hit her first 3?
Yep.
That was the beginning of the third quarter, so that was kind of that turn. So there's a lot of girls.
She's no bigger than a minute either.
She's not. And then Taylor Selby and Kylie McHenry, both of those girls are flying all over the place, making steals. Cameron Fox, I think she spends more time on the floor than she does on her feet. But I mean, the kiddos play hard. I give them a lot of kudos.
Lady Spartans are playing very well.
They are playing very well. Very proud of them right now.
They're fun to watch, and people that have not been to the bowl to see them, or a road game to see them, I'd encourage them. This Saturday they'll be at Batesville. It's a short drive down there. If you fly down there, it's much shorter. You don't have to take those windy roads, but they're worth going to see, and they need our support.
First conference game of the season too, so it's a big.
I don't know that we will see. Unless we get state finals, I don't know that we will see another team, maybe, and you said save like Richmond, but I don't know that we'll see another team as physical as we saw in the way that they play, I guess.
But I don't know. I mean, games do get physical when it's down to the wire too, though. So
that's true.
I mean, depending on how the girls play, I mean, they could have a lot more of those.
And the new rule, the 5 fouls for shooting free throws after each quarter, I think's okay. But what I said would happen did happen. That if you're behind, you're still going to foul to try to get that ball back. It doesn't.
And it did work in our favor.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, we did foul, and the first little girl, she missed both of them, and we went down and scored. So I mean, it did work a little bit in our favor. We fouled the right girl, I guess.
Yeah.
But I could see how that could definitely bite you in the rear if you have a good team that can shoot.
But if that's your only option to get the ball back,
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
Are the officials adapted to the new rules pretty well?
Yeah, I think you can tell now. Like at the beginning, they forgot that it was all automatically 2 or they were shooting, but I think the officials have figured it out at this point.
What is the rule again, Sam? Explain it to us.
well, it's
New this year.
you start over each quarter after 5 fouls, or on the 5th foul, you shoot 2. There's no more 1-and-1. There still is the 3-point play. If you're fouled in the act of shooting, then you get an extra shot. So it starts over. You can be in that bonus, whatever you want to call it, shooting fouls after 5 in each quarter. So it just starts over. And it's the new scorebooks already have it in there that way. The scoreboards is no problem of putting it on the scoreboard. This women's collegiate hoops have been that way for a few years now, and I've watched several women's games the last several years, and I thought, well, it works okay, and there's nothing wrong with doing it.
Andy, are there rules about changes coming up as far as you know from the IHSAA?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that I know of for this year. They wouldn't change it now. Since
No,
the
I know
season
it
started,
wouldn't,
but yeah.
yeah.
But I haven't heard of anything new yet. That'll probably come in April if anything happens.
I'm sure they'll come with something, don't you?
Who knows? Yeah, probably.
A lot of people clamor on social media for a shot clock, and that's the last thing we need. I just,
Yeah.
maybe it's okay at college and professional, but I think for high school that it gives the underdog an opportunity, by not having the shot
It
clock.
would destroy the game as we know it today,
I
wouldn't
think it would.
I mean,
They keep tinkering with
coach
things.
after coaches because of the shot clock, I think.
Yeah. But
And,
yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know how it would
and
affect
no-
it.
Well, some
Limit.
people's argument is that players, really good players, may be overlooked somehow for college teams, but it's such, and you may know the figure, but people that go on to play Division I sports, it's like that played from their high school, it's like 0.3% or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I
really,
would say, I know it's less than 2%.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that
And then
figure.
going from college to pro is even smaller.
less, yes.
This week at CHS, Monday, freshman basketball with Greensburg at 6 o'clock in Spartan Bowl. And the middle school white basketball will be at Greensburg for games on Tuesday. Tuesday, wrestling, JV and varsity home with Union City and Nicetown at 6. And that will be in the old school gym.
Yeah, it's actually Union County, but
Oh, yeah,
it'll be at
okay.
the old high school gym.
That's what I thought. Because
6 o'clock. So we'll wrestle against Union County and Nicetown, and then they'll wrestle against each other.
is there a reason they don't do it in the new complex at the high school?
We had senior night in there last year, and they really liked it. It's just the problem is hauling the mats all the
Okay.
way over, pending weather. It could get a little messy. So it's less place for them to have to haul their mats over.
Well, that makes sense, yeah. Well, the Hope Funds.
There's wrestling rooms right there.
Yeah, so they just kind of carry them up the stairs instead of having to take them outside.
Well, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a good idea. Wednesday, of course, Spartan basketball season opener, home with Union County. The games will be at 6 o'clock and 7:30. Everybody ready?
I think so.
You hope so, huh?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Fingers crossed.
It's good, though, to get the basketball underway,
Yep.
full way.
Both of them, yeah.
Yes. And I'm sure the fans will turn out. Are you getting a
I hope
request
so.
for tickets and things yet?
We don't give them pre-sale tickets. We just have them buy at the gate, but they can buy online through EventLink. So those are posted on our school website as well. But we'll see. We'll see how many people come out. I have a feeling with both new coaches in the boys position for Union County and for us, and then just kind of a new year, I have a feeling we'll have quite a few more people in the seat. So that should be fun.
It's homecoming for basketball.
It is.
Sam, are you ready?
You know that as soon as the season's over, I start counting for that day when it starts. So we're
right.
down to 2, just in case anybody wants to know.
Will the fellows be bouncing the basketball as far as you know from Liberty?
I would think so. It's tradition. There's been a lot of talk about that on social media this past week, and an article that the Indianapolis Star had written a couple years ago that's been reposted, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal around the state. People know about it.
Yes.
Referees, they want to do that game. They love coming and doing it, and it's always good competition. And like you said, with 2 new coaches, both schools, we don't know what to expect from either
Absolutely.
school.
Scrimmage went pretty well with Nicetown for the Spartans.
Yeah, it went okay. I didn't attend that one. Mr. Lathery went. I think got a chance to see what they need to improve on, what they can tweak before Wednesday, kind of who meshes with who are the leaders, that kind of stuff.
Was it pretty well attended, do you know?
I do not know that answer. I am sorry. I think based on some of the pictures that I saw, it kind of looked more so like parents and, you know,
Okay.
your avid fans that come. But I don't know if it was as busy or as packed as it would have been if it would have been here, probably.
Are you going to continue the scrimmage?
I think we're looking at a different school for next year, potentially looking at Muncie Central.
Okay.
A little bit bigger of a school to scrimmage is what Coach Mack would like to do. So we'll kind of start looking at that here soon and see what we can get.
I know you're working on next year already.
Oh, we're working on next year and the year after.
And the year after that.
Have all the officials for next year already scheduled, so I'm working on 25, 26 now.
Now
so.
you keep your fingers crossed they can show up. They
Yeah,
don't have any
absolutely.
problems. Yeah, that's the next. Okay, let's continue on Saturday. Co-ed swimming home with Mount Vernon at 10 o'clock in the morning. The Lady Spartan basketball at Batesville at 2:30 in the afternoon. And boys basketball home with Delta, JV, and varsity at 6 and 7:30. So a busy Saturday.
We have a busy week this week, yes. The girls and boys in full swing. Our freshman football is tonight. It's actually the field house, not at Spartan Bowl. Freshman games are all at the field house unless we play
Oh, that's good.
the freshman JV varsity game. If we do that, then freshman plays in the arena. So they open tonight. Wrestling opens tomorrow. Swimming opens on Saturday with a school we've never swam against with Mount Vernon. Yeah, so most of the winter teams are going in full swing.
About the only thing left's gymnastics, right? That
Yep,
doesn't
gymnastics will
till
do their
December, or-
preview December, right before Christmas, and then they don't start their first meet until January. So,
Well, hopefully it's a great season for the basketball teams, and the girls can continue on, and the boys pick up where the girls are. And
hope so. Hope so. Hope it'll be a good season, get a lot of fans out. Hopefully the weather is nice so we don't have to deal with any kind of delays or cancellations or postponements. I don't really want to work on that this year. We didn't have any last year, so I don't really want to have any this year.
Double header basically on Saturday with basketball with the girls opening conference play at Batesville and the boys against Delta at the Bowl, which always a tough team. Coach Detweiler, who was at Union County for years,
Yes.
he knows the tradition of
Yes.
Spartan basketball, and he's done a terrific job up at Delta. Has had some good teams, so that's not going to be easy.
Yeah,
No,
it's a
it
pretty
won't
tough
be.
week.
it hasn't been since we picked up Delta 4 or 5 years ago, maybe something like that. I mean, it's wins have been kind of rare against Delta.
Yeah. With the good teams that we've had, we've struggled.
That's right. Yeah.
So
As you say, Coach Detweiler knows the basketball.
and a gentleman as well.
Absolutely.
I always enjoyed talking to him.
Yeah, he's one of the real gentlemen in sports. And there are a lot of those guys, though, that we've dealt with over the years.
We have.
That, are fine.
And there's been ones that weren't so gentlemanly when
One or two,
a certain
maybe
coach
3 or 4.
one time in Richmond, when I asked to talk to him before the game, do an interview, he said, "Did you make an appointment with my secretary?" I said, "No, I didn't." So didn't ask him after that.
Nice.
Well, that's a little,
I can only imagine who that was.
it's a little bit much. You're not going to do that to us, are
I
you?
will not do that to you. If I'm available, I'll help out
Okay,
in
okay.
any way that I can.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming down here. and taking-
Sometimes I'm not available, but if I'm available, absolutely.
Well, we're happy so far that the way Spartan things are going, and
Yeah. So we've got some really new kind of events I guess I can share.
Sure.
So Reed Health is going to do a Reed Health night next Friday at the boys game against Rushville. So they'll be passing out rally towels to the first 750 people in attendance, which that's not very many towels, but we'll see. They'll also have a table set up.
Oh,
So
great.
kind of Reed is one of our corporate sponsors, so we want to make sure that we I guess honor them, celebrate them. The student council is working on the Beat Cancer in Four Quarters with Franklin County. So they will be selling cookies. They'll be doing the best seat in the house, which is the couch down on the floor. And they're also going to do Chuck-a-Duck. So I think if you went to Northeastern or you went to Franklin County, you've seen where there's numbers on the bottom of the duck. And you throw it from your seat to a spot in the middle of the floor at halftime. And then the person who gets closest to that spot will win, I think it's $100. So anyways, that's planned for Wednesday. So we're going to see how that works
That's
out.
going to be very interesting at the bowl because
It will be.
it's a lot farther to the
It
center of that
is. So
court.
I think
where
you're going to have to figure out where you sit, and
I'm going to have to duck maybe for the
you
for the ducks.
definitely might duck for the ducks because I'm not sure how far those ducks will fly. So I don't know. That's their plan, is to try to do that to see if they can raise some money. We're really trying to beat Franklin County this year. Last year they kind of embarrassed us. Even though we raised more last year than they ever have, they embarrassed us by a big chunk of change. So
But
we're
in the
trying to hit-
end, there's no loser in that.
absolutely trying to raise money for the Fayette County Cancer Society.
that's great.
Yeah.
Really some nice events coming up there.
Yep.
Appreciate you sharing those
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
us and everything. So it's going to be an interesting season, I feel.
Yeah, I hope so. It's
Yeah.
long. It's
Well, I think
not
so.
long. It's short, but it's long. So
Well, there's a lot of it.
try to squeeze. The problem is we try to squeeze everything in. So everybody wants
Yes.
to have a recognition of some sort, and so we've got youth basketball will be recognized at some point, and corporate sponsors will be recognized, and then Dot Foods has this promotion that goes on, and they want to do that, and then you have the guy-girl dance with the Spartan Huts, and then
Yes.
you have alumni night with different things. So there's a lot that we do squeeze in, and the first couple ones it's kind of nice. It's just basketball and halftime and nothing crazy, and then it gets to Van Meter on the walkie-talkie screaming at people that things aren't going the way they're supposed to be going, and no one listening to me. So it's fine.
But it puts fans in the stands and
It does.
and money in the change box.
Absolutely, that turns around and goes right back to our kids. So absolutely, it does.
When you get the little kids involved in things, then Grandma and Grandpa come too.
Grandma, Grandpa
and spend
come,
money.
Mom and Dad, aunts and uncles. Yeah, so it's fun. It's just a lot of,
All right.
a lot of behind the scenes trying to get them lined up, make sure you don't miss their name, don't forget their team. And so we rely a lot on our coaches to do a lot of that stuff, especially since they're the ones that see them. So
Well, I know the fans really appreciate all that you folks go
Yeah.
to make it very interesting
we
evening.
try. Because, it's kind of boring if you go to a place and things aren't as active. I know Saturday at Anderson,
No
it gave me anxiety watching that halftime. It was, what was it, shoot a free throw, shoot a three-pointer for a candy bar. And there was just random people standing on the floor, just random people. They weren't shooting. We didn't know if they were in line. It was just kind of, I was like, what's going on here? Like, what, just get off the floor. You don't need to be out there. So
Then after the game, they were
shooing us out.
shooting everybody out.
Yep. Just, so it's nice when you go places and there's stuff at halftime to see or watch. It makes it a little more entertaining, I guess. So
Well, Saturday night or Wednesday night should be a great night here at CHS, and I know you have a lot of things planned, and you hope everything works like clockwork.
yeah, it's not as crazy as it was last year. We tried to bite off more than we could chew last year, I think, but it worked out. Because I believe, didn't we have the 72? We had the 72 reunion on that same game, didn't we?
I think so, yeah.
So we had that to organize. But no, there's a lot of different things. A lot of different groups are in charge of those. My goal was to make sure both teams are there, the officials are there, and my score people and everybody that makes the game run
Yes.
are there. After that, if something messes up, it messes up.
The, having a couple of girls' games, so helps
It
work
has
out some of the
helped.
kinks.
Correct. Everything's down there. Everything that we need is down there. I think we got the beginning right this time. I didn't have the lights out on the visiting team this time,
It was
like I did
yeah.
last time.
and didn't play the intro for the boys with it's
Yep.
all over that
So
thing. So
we just threw that in there because we didn't have what we were supposed to have there. So I think everything's okay.
it'll be fun.
We'll see. We don't have the band on Wednesday night, our school band, so the community band will be there playing for us. So that brings a whole new set of uneasiness for me because I don't know the community band. I don't know what to expect. So I'm just gonna.
Well,
They're adults and they know what they're
and
doing.
if they're
and I think we'll be
alumni,
fine.
they've been there and they know what the
Absolutely.
routine is. So
I think it'll be fine. And I think some of our kids that aren't going to Disney play in that band as
Good.
well. So they'll be
Good.
there. So, but again, that brings a whole new set of worries for me because
it'll be all right.
I worry a little bit
It'll be
on
all right,
things.
Andrea.
You'll see me. I'm kind of stressed out during game days.
So
It's
that's
okay.
the reason the CHS band isn't here. These youngsters
Yes,
are.
they qualified to go to Disney.
Okay.
And then for those people who have been asking where the band has been, they are only doing 10 events this year. So I made them do 5 guys and 5 girls games. So they will be here. Well, they won't be here Wednesday because they're at Disney. And I don't think they're back in time to do Delta. So I think the first boys game will be the Rushville game. The band will be there. And I believe they'll be playing the girls Mount Vernon game on the 30th. So they'll be there back to back next week. So we've adapted and we've got music and we've got
Yes.
their music and we play other music. So I think Mr. Lather's done a great job of at least keeping the environment going and people pumped up and things like that. So
He does do a good job, and
yeah, I don't touch
yeah,
that. I don't.
I've, I've enjoyed getting to know him over the last couple
yeah,
of years.
good. Yeah, he does a great job with that, and so I know that he's down there and he can take care of those issues on the bottom half of the floor, and we usually take care of the stuff up top.
And he, having been a former Spartan head, he knows about
He knows it, yeah.
the sequence of things.
He's like, "Don't worry, I got this, Van Meter." I'm like, "Okay, fine. Call me when it's over."
Well, showcasing the community band is something new.
Yeah, so they just started, I believe, in June.
Yes.
And when we found out the band wasn't going to be at all of our events, we were kind of helter-skelter. That's a good
Well,
word of the
sure, I
day.
understand.
And so I was talking to some of the kids that were in band, and they came in and talked to me, and they gave me the name. Ruth Ann Munger is the one who
Yes.
runs it. And they meet, I think, a couple times a week to practice. I guess they're working on a Christmas program. And so they wondered if they could play some of their Christmas music at some point. And I thought, well, maybe at some point in the like halftime or something, if there's
Sure.
time, maybe they could play their song, just so they can kind of practice it. But they have been given all of our music that they need to know. So I think it'll be interesting,
Good.
and hopefully people go and watch them.
Opportunity for them to do more than this, just this week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I sent her the schedule. I'm not sure what events they're going to come to yet, but she has been given the upcoming events that we wouldn't have a band there for. And I think most of our high school kids that play in that band will kind of help direct that as well and make sure that they're there. So very excited for that opportunity. Anytime we can showcase people from the community, we would love
Certainly,
to.
that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
Having had a son that played in the CHS band, that how much those kids love coming to play at games.
They do. They love it. And that's the kids. They're like, well, can we come and play by ourselves? I'm like, well, you can't come play by yourselves. But maybe if you can get enough people together, maybe we could make it work.
Good,
So.
good.
We're going to try.
Well, I'm sure it will work, and just take a deep sigh and think,
It's
this
part-
is going to work.
Yeah, this is
It's
going to
part
work.
of the Spartan experience when you go to the bowl.
Yes.
It is.
As long as it all works out.
It'll be fine, Andrea.
That's what Sam's going to say when something's not working. He's going to look at me and be like, it'll be fine. We'll get you a walkie-talkie so you can say that in the walkie.
Maintain a rigid state of flexibility, and you'll be fine.
Yes.
Sure you can.
Sure. Rigid flexibility. Yep.
Remember that. Andrea, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
And have the best of luck on the coming Spartans and everything.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for watching this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3, and hope you have a nice evening and a nice holiday.